Hey everybody, I almost forgot to turn on the sound, and that would be bad. I'm waiting for Mary Ellen to come in, and then I'm going to get her on here. We have a change of guest. Mary Ellen is going to come in, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff. Rachel wasn't able to make it today, but I'm super glad you're here. We're still going to talk about mindset, and Mary Ellen is awesome at this. So it's just going to take me just a second to get her in here. There we go. Mary Ellen, you are in here. Woo!
Yay! Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course. Thanks for coming on at the very last minute. You've saved me, and I appreciate it so much. So let's talk about, like, I literally, guys, just reached out to Mary Ellen, like, what, 3 minutes ago to do this? So go ahead and tell me how you guys are, though, how the weather is. It's beautiful, it's sunny, it's springish. So it's like 70s, I'm feeling it. So Mary Ellen does Nourished by Me, and I thought you would be a perfect replacement because you talk a lot about mindset. So we can, oh, thank you, Linda. I'm glad you love my t-shirt. It's from Gideon's, and I just got a signed print of this. I'm super excited. I live the life of the easily amused, but you all know that. Mary Ellen and I have been friends for years. She knows that too. So one of the things that I've been doing with Rachel, because she does lifestyle coaching and personal coaching, and that and Mary Ellen, you don't even know a lot about what's going on with me right now. So I've been I got diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and have some fibrosis, blah, blah, blah. So we've been talking some about different mindset things, and I've been kind of just like, as usual, laying my heart out on a cutting board for you guys to carve into should you want, but you're always super supportive. So one of the things Rachel and I had talked about, and we can take this in a different direction, Mary Ellen, so make sure that you guide it towards what you feel most passionate about, because it's just like if you and I were at a coffee shop, really, with some really cool people. That's it. And so, like, one of the things with having, because I have a weight loss goal now, like my first goal is to lose like 22 pounds, and I'm like halfway there. But it gets weird for me, and I think it gets weird for some other people. And again, those of you who may be new to me, this is not a weight loss show. That's the example I'm using for me right now. You could maybe have some heart issues, and maybe you have a health goal, right? Or maybe your goal is just simply transitioning from a standard American diet to whatever. So this isn't, even though my example is about one thing, take this information and hold it in your heart where it works for you. So, like, I'm finding having these little goalposts instead of, because usually that makes me happy. I'm writing a book, I've got 30 things done. Woohoo! But now it's like, when it has to do with the scale, I'm realizing I got feelings about that, like a lot of feelings. So I would be interested to know what you would like to share with us. And I'm going to try and see, I'm going to switch the screen to me for just a half second till okay, you have the full screen now.
Oh, okay.
Don't be scared. I'm still right here. You can see me, right? You can still see me.
Oh, no, I can't see you, but
you can't see me? Okay. Let me.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay, I hear you, so it's good. Well, good for you to getting on your healthy journey. And so just for a background for me, I'm a licensed nutritionist and a nourishment coach. So I think that's why Kathy had me come on. But
And
for
because you're
mindset,
super cool.
oh, okay. Thank you. That too, I guess. I I do work with mindset. I feel like mindset is huge for any kind of goal. And I like how you said you're taking these like smaller bits because that's really the only way that we can not get overwhelmed. I can get overwhelmed pretty easily. I always have for my entire life. And it's like you look at this big goal, like this is what I need to do all the way over here. And like, it's how am I going to get there? And basically it is small goals. Like, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with anything. You want, like, okay, how can I take this? So if your goal is for weight loss right now, like, how can, like, every day I'm just moving a little more towards my goal instead of like getting that overwhelmed feeling like we can usually get. So it's like baby steps, like things like that.
Absolutely. And so like, and that's one of the things is that I'm finding, and I'm sure I could pay therapists thousands of dollars to feel about why I'm uncomfortable about this, so because at my age, there's been a lot of buildup of things, because like, I don't have a lot of things that I'm just like, not that. Like, keeping track of my food, that is one of the things I have super feelings about. And with the scale, what I was doing at first is I was weighing myself every day, which there's two conflicting things about that, right? And so one is there's a psychologist that I didn't read. I'm using it to justify, because I thought I could just kind of desensitize myself. And there is a psychologist that talks about that, because if you weigh 101 pounds one day, you could weigh 104 pounds the next day, and then weigh 100 pounds the day after that. And so I think with having a very literal mind like I do, I think there's going to be this linear progression. And so then if something goes up, I'm like, it's like this thing like, ooh, I've done something wrong. How can I go fix that? Where it could be, you ate some salty food. It's not wrong. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. Our weight fluctuates a few pounds, like you said, every day, depending on, yeah, right, your hydration and like all different things. I mean, I know people who say that to me all the time. Like, why is it like, it's like 3 pounds and I didn't do anything. I do the exact same thing. Well, our bodies change every day. So yeah, getting that like mindset too, like, it's up and down every day is so helpful. I feel like, yeah.
It's just really interesting because, like, I'm really good at the beginning of something. I've got a good couple of months of me, and I can hyper focus and get whatever it is done. But when we're talking about something that goes longer, and you guys who are watching, ask some questions too in the comments. It doesn't have to do with weight loss. It doesn't have to do with the scale, but anything mindset-y that you're having some issues with, we can kind of work on as well. So Mary Ellen, how do you recommend that people kind of start doing this? Because I know that you coach people. So let's hear, so if you wanted to give me some advice or something like that. And background for everyone, she does know me and knows a lot about my neuroses.
I was going to say it's all about mindset, but this is what we're talking about.
Or how to get that. Like, we know we need a good mindset, but then what are the tools or the things that we can do to encourage it? Because, like, yesterday, nothing was wrong, but y'all, I was in a mood. I was just in a mood. I woke up in a mood. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. Nothing bad had happened to me. And so what I decided, if I was going to feel that cranky, you know what I could do? Declutter. So I like actually decluttered for like 4 hours and groused the whole time in my head and got that going. But then today when I got up, there's a whole corner that's just like awesome. Frozen and here we go.
There you are.
Yay, because I was like moving that mouse trying to get it back to you. So you go for it and tell us how you would tell me or someone else, however you want to do it, specific or non-specific.
Okay, a lot of times with people who I'm, coaching or whatever, I have them do these because like you said, one day you could be in a mood. Sometimes you're not in a mood, and what gets you out of that? Like if you have I'm gonna say a bad attitude, but like if you're just not in the mood.
Oh, I had a bad attitude. You can tell me. Everybody else, they probably didn't. I had the worst attitude, and not only that,
yesterday too.
I was kvetching about me making this mess the whole time too. So like it's kind of hilarious to look back at it. But
It always is, right?
I did like 2.5 miles just walking around cleaning my house though.
It's good to get your mind out of what you're into. So our minds can go in cycles. I mean, we can just like think and think and think. So whatever you feel like you can do to get out of that mindset, like what's going to either calm you down or pump you up or whatever you need in that moment to get like to your next step. So I do that. So whether it's going for a walk like you did or like cleaning your house or like things like that, that always helps. Me getting out in nature helps. I know like just going outside and like seeing fresh air always helps me. Like it changes my whole mindset. I also help what helps me is to do like some sort of embodiment practices. So I will just stop whatever I'm doing and do like a body scan. So I'll just go from the top of my head down and just like scan my body. I just breathe in and out and scan my body. Like, do I have a bit of a headache? Do I have, um, does my chest feel a little bit tight? Is my stomach feeling like tense? And by getting out of it gets you out of your head. So by by doing that, you're thinking more about your body sometimes rather than like, what's going on in your head. And maybe that headache is putting you in a little bit of a bad mood. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it is. And okay, so if I have a headache, do I just need some more water? Do I need to just sit and rest for a little bit? Do I need, what? Everybody's different. So what would help you get out of, once you figure out kind of what that is, like what can you do to like help yourself? A lot of times I'll get cranky because I push myself and then I forget to eat. And I'm like, why am I so hangry? Oh yeah, because I didn't eat. Well, go get yourself something to eat, like things like that. So just really
To-
feeling into your body.
I like that.
But
So like a good listen. I like the whole thing about, because like when you're doing the body scan that you talk about and kind of going, I've done that for relaxation. Like relax this, is there tension in your eyes? But I think what it does, instead of being inside your head going, "Ear," it takes you outside looking at more, a little more logically at yourself, and so I like that, just kind of stopping wherever you are when you're feeling like that. I think dehydration and food, I tend to think about first. Like I have been known to go take a walk and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm starving. So like if you're not sure what's going on too, you could take like a little granola bar or something like that, or a piece of fruit with you while you walk. I like those ideas. And what would you do then if, because like I'm just trying to think about how can I retrain my brain to think about some things that trigger me, like just like getting on the scale, because everybody so emphasizes get on the scale, don't get on the scale, count your calories, don't count your calories, like, and Rachel and I have talked about this before, because like again, except for someone who's maybe with Dr. Esselstyn, who has a heart issue, working diligently, if you have some serious health issue, it could be different. But if you're just a normal person, if you eat something that's not on your eating plan once, it's probably not the end of the world. And it's certainly not time to give up, right?
exactly.
But I think we get such a win-lose mentality. I totally do, because I'm not competitive like normal people are competitive. Like, I don't go, oh, Mary Ellen, you have a recipe for chili too. Oh, whatever. However, I'm very competitive within myself. And if we're playing a game, I'm going to win. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
win my best. Like, I don't want to be that way. And sometimes weight loss almost feels like a game because there's numbers involved, there's all this stuff. So what do you think?
Um, like whether to look at the scale, not look at the scale, things like that. Is that
Or
kind
just
of, or
how to
just in
think
general?
about it, or how you think about it, and where
Yeah.
you pull your information for decision making from, or what
Yeah.
you would advise a client. It can be any of that stuff.
I guess if their goal is weight loss. So I'm more of an anti-diet nutritionist. So I try not to do like just for weight loss, but I know with health that comes along with it as well. You know, like there are some times that you need to. So, I mean, if the scale is going to like trigger you every day, then maybe that's not your thing for every day. You know what I mean? Maybe you do your best for the week, and then one day is your weigh day, you know, your weigh in. I'm
Yeah,
thinking of like
Cheryl,
sports, but like, you
yeah,
know.
Cheryl weighs herself once a week, and I was weighing myself every day, and then I stopped, and now I'm not weighing myself at all. So I think it's actually making it more nerve-wracking.
To not weigh yourself?
Yeah, because then I don't
Okay.
know it all. So it's like it's not
Right.
knowing it all better than it's just a very interesting place for me to be at my age, because I think most people deal with these sorts of things younger. And when I was young, I was thin because I have Graves' disease and it was untreated. So I weighed 98 pounds, and if I skipped a meal, I'd lose a pound. You know,
Yeah.
going from that to, you know, drinking radioactive iodine and not having it. So there's all these different things, and we're all in different places too. And again,
Right.
I just try to use myself as an example so no one else feels like they have to go, no, pick me. But if anybody has something. And so today I was just thinking of ways, and I'm so sorry we weren't able to have this conversation. Next time, before you come on, we'll have a nice conversation. And you can also pivot this. So if you see something in here that you have very strong feelings about that is adjacent, and you want to talk about that too. But I think just about starting on a new path or recommitting to a path that you're on, be it health, weight loss, eating, just being happy, right?
Yeah.
Because you and I were talking before, there's so many different things that go into being a healthy person.
Exactly. I think starting with your main goal, like, and it's not to lose, you know, sometimes it's not to lose weight. It actually is to be like for your health, right? So I always go back to that. Like, yes, you like we'll all think like, okay, so it's a couple more pounds or a couple more pounds constantly, but in general, if you keep going back to your actual main desire is to be, you know, to help your health, that always helps me. And I know it helps my clients too. Like, okay, did I, you know, quote, mess up today or eat something that maybe, you know, not supposed to, or something like that? You know, like we said, so what? It's just if it is going to derail your health, if you're doing it too much, then I try to change that mindset a little bit and keep thinking of that. When people can get so like stressed and so like I was saying in their head, because I know I do with things like that. When you're having a bad day, I always do like a gratitude practice at the end of the day or even during it. So, okay, so we, you know, I keep saying, quote, messed up, or, you know, I don't like to use those words because we didn't, but I like to say, okay, well, what am I grateful for today? And what did I do well today at the end of the day? Because you're going to bed without these thoughts in your head, like, oh, I messed up. I didn't do well. I did like all these things. And instead it's like, well, you know what? I had a great lunch. I went out for my walk. I, you know, had a great time playing with my dog, like whatever it is that really made you happy and grateful that day. It is a good way to end the day. So, I mean, it's not the exact thing we're talking about, but I do think it really helps with, you know, when we get to into what we're doing, you know, like
I kind of think
our
it
minds
is.
racing.
In fact, I think it's exactly what we're talking about. In that, to have a good mindset. So how I'm framing what you just said is we're going to have all these judgments throughout the day, but what if in the evening we really look at what was good, what wasn't good, or maybe what was good, what we'd like to improve, think about how we want the next day to be better. But I think that when I'm focusing on a goal, it's very easy for me to shutter everything out because of my hyper-focusedness, which maybe everybody doesn't have. I I think it means I have ADHD, but I'm not sure. But I can get some stuff done in there, but as I'm getting older, I can't do as many things like that. And I certainly can't do the next year of hyper focusing about losing weight because I have a business to run. I have friends and a family, and it would be nice to live life. So I think having this gratitude, it plants this seed of positivity when maybe you're not feeling so positive. So I think it's exactly that. And I like that idea, and I think that that is something, because one of the things that I've been noticing about some people around me, and sometimes me, is that what you feed your brain is kind of what comes to you a little bit. And this is a little hippy dippy. So if you don't want to go down this road, that's okay. It can also be that when you're writing down these positive things, it puts it in the forefront of your brain, and logically you're really working towards it. So if I wasn't, one of the reasons I decided to talk about that I'm trying to lose some weight is so that way it would be another thing out in the universe set up for me to do that. So I think that if you think that everything's going to go wrong, everything's going to go wrong. And it doesn't mean you can't have any doubts, but it's one thing, nobody's ever going to help me. I'm never going to be able to do this. You might have to say, it's hard for me to do this. I'm learning to do this, and I didn't do X the way I wanted to do it, right? Because I think that's mindset too.
Yeah. It's a totally different mindset of I can't do this versus it's hard for me. There's two different mindsets. One is like, there's no way it's going to happen versus it's hard, but I can get there, so definitely.
And I think one of the things that we have to remember is ask for help when you need it. And that's the hardest thing for people. So like when this happened, one of my friends was like, okay, I'm off on Tuesday. A friend that I've hardly seen over the pandemic, who met me for the test I had to have at the hospital because she's a nurse. She's like, Tuesdays or Thursdays, what days do we go walk? And every week she comes and we go walk. And we just chat about usually nothing, but it meant so much. And it does every week. And I told her it means so much for her to have made this effort to be there to help me attain a goal. And it makes me feel like if she thinks I can do it, I can do it, right?
That's totally true. Yeah, if you have the support, it's amazing. And it's also like, we don't like to ask for help, right? No one likes to ask for help. Like, we can do everything. We actually can't, and that's okay. We just can't. But also, looking at it as someone, as myself, who likes to help people, it actually helps me too. So maybe your friend needs to go out for a walk too, and then it's a great way to like just be with you, hang out, and do their walk together. And it makes people happy to help other people. So I try to take that, and I'm like, I'm putting myself on these people, or I'm asking too much, but really people want to help, or they wouldn't offer.
They
I
can
don't
say
think.
no too.
They
And
can
that's
say no.
their business and their issue if they don't say no. And that's
Exactly,
okay
boundaries.
too. And that's hard because I think it's really good to ask. And I think, like, I love to help the community, and our community's super awesome. My community's great. And over on Heartbeat, I started a thread for movement, because people don't always like to talk in terms of fitness and exercise. Because, like, even though I went for a walk with my friend yesterday too, all that cleaning counts too. And so one of the things I want to try over there is that there's this voice thing. I haven't tried it yet, that maybe we can all go for a walk together and chat. So that would be really cool. But don't forget to go over to the Heartbeat. Ask for an exercise partner. Every week right now we're doing accountability threads. And sometimes I make up the most glorious schedule that I don't do. So you guys do what you need to do. And Mary Ellen, I know that you have to go soon. So do you have any
I
I'll
can't
tell
hear
you when
you.
it's about 128.
Okay, okay, sure. I just couldn't hear you for like 1 second. But now I'm back. You're back. Okay, sure. Let me know. I have a few more minutes. So, but what was I gonna say?
It's okay. So you're just going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Maybe what you do coaching wise, maybe
Oh,
how
okay.
people can get in touch with you, anything you want, where they should follow you.
Okay. I am, well, you put my link. I'm at nourishedbyme.com and I'm on Instagram at nourished underscore by underscore me. And so I really want to help people figure out like who they are and because that helped me so much, like really figuring out who I am and what I want and take my power back so that I could nourish myself. And I want that for other people. Like I want other people to understand how to nourish themselves because I can't tell them how to do it. I mean, I can guide them with it, but only you know really what's what your body needs. And I help people like discover like what their body is kind of telling them for their nourishment needs. And so yeah, I
I
have
love
some new
it.
things coming up.
Ooh, is
Yeah.
anything, and I know you do some sound bowl stuff, so
Mhm.
follow Mary Ellen, and Mary Ellen will be back on a more formal show later. And
Yeah.
thank you for just coming in a pinch, and hopefully
Uh,
Rachel will be feeling better soon, and I'm sorry, kind of switch things up, but Mary Ellen is awesome, so you guys are going to love it. And hopefully you'll be willing to come back on a show where you're not like, hey, it's 2 minutes till I go on.
no, it was so much fun. I'm so glad you had me on. And sorry if I was like a little
Oh, you're doing
I'm better when like when I like I don't know, have a little time, but
It's
I'm
okay.
trying.
But you know
I get
what?
nervous.
With us talking about nerves and goals and fears and stuff like that, it's perfectly appropriate, and it's actually really good because then everyone gets to see the real us, and I think that's really important. So you guys, go over to my heartbeat group. If you look down there somewhere, wherever you are, there's a link to join in, and come over and tell us what you're doing movement wise, or just come hang out with us. And thanks, Mary Ellen, and we will talk about scheduling something for next month. Okay.
Sounds good.